Well, concerns about rising coronavirus cases have led to some schools across Oxfordshire, Wiltshire and Buckinghamshire remaining closed despite earlier government advice to reopen. Others have been operating at a reduced capacity, with the vast majority claiming they simply didn't have enough staff. Teaching unions say pupils and staff should delay returning to classrooms. Matt Graveling reports.
At what should be a time for tests, these are testing times.
We have taken action in the areas where the spread of the disease is strongest and where the NHS is most under pressure to keep the primary schools closed.
This applied to primary schools in Milton Keynes, but not Oxfordshire. However, today, 23 schools in the county still announced they would be shut or reduce class numbers this week due to a staff shortage. Windmill Primary School was one of them, with 27 staff opting to work from home.
We've got staff who, fall into categories of vulnerability, who are, again, feeling very anxious at the moment. And I know they are, because they're emailing me saying, what can we do to strengthen things? And they've all felt very safe over the last 2 terms.
The Department for Education said closing schools should be a last resort, while Ofsted added children's lives cannot be put on hold. However, some parents disagree.
I think it's ridiculous the way it is at the moment. I think we need to have a proper shutdown.
Merilyn's children go to Bartholomew School in Witney. Her son is studying for his GCSEs. She welcomes remote learning.
We can get laptops rolled out properly to families and just properly do it. Take it as a big project and say, right, this is it. We're going to do this for the foreseeable future. And these are the methods that we're going to put in place to make sure we can support that.
Dr. Helen Wimalarathna is an infectious disease epidemiologist based at the University of Buckingham. She told me she wouldn't be sending her children back to school in West Oxfordshire.
The situation is out of control, that our number is increasing because of the new variant, and we need to offset that by really reducing the contacts that take place in the population. And one way that we can do that, and we can all contribute to dragging that R number back down, is to keep our children out of school unless it's particularly necessary because of key workers' children and vulnerable children.
While the government fight to contain the virus, some schools are being asked to administer COVID tests themselves.
Just at the weekend, we received a large briefing pack, which was basically the instructions for setting up an NHS test and trace centre. But it has been rushed out without having been thought through at all. There are some very significant logistical difficulties, and I'm afraid they're not helped by the guidance that's been issued.
A Department for Education spokesperson said schools will continue to implement appropriate safety measures to help mitigate the risk of transmission. Matt Graveling, BBC South Today.
Meanwhile, a major incident has been declared across the Thames Valley because of the pressures of the coronavirus pandemic. In Milton Keynes, there are growing fears over